All right. So we're gonna be playing TA. So one of the biggest problems that I see right off the bat in your lineup is that you have a Templar assassin and an anti-mage. Now the problem that arises when you've got a hero like an anti-mage in your team is your mid laner desperately needs to be somebody who needs to be independent. Number one, and number two, needs to create some space for anti-mage. Now TA,
Hmm.
although TA is independent to a great degree, depends on the matchup really, but you are not at all a space creator. Like you can be, but that requires such high skill. Like even I don't think I would be able to pull that off in my games, right? Probably I'll be able to do it in your game, but that means like you have to be like 3 or 4K higher or 5K. What is that? Yeah, 5K almost higher, 4K. Then
Yeah.
your then the rest of your teammates, and it's just not possible. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to be able to create space for anti-mates to farm. By creating space, I mean go to different lanes and gang people, and
Yeah, I
create
know.
space that
I
way,
know. I know.
or push towers and whatnot. You need to farm yourself. So when you have two people who need farm, especially in the early at the same time, two people who need farm at the same time, both you and anti-mage need farm for, well, anti-mage needs farm for 25 minutes, whereas TA only needs farm for like 15 minutes. But it's the first 15 minutes of the game which now completely relies on other three of your teammates. Now
Yeah.
the big problem that you have is you have a Nature's Prophet, another hero that needs farm. That doesn't necessarily needs farm, but he's gonna take farm, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
looking at your lineup, you guys are gonna be starved for farm, which would be okay if it's the same case for the enemy team, but it's not. You've got a Jakiro in mid who is great at making space. Not a conventional mid hero, but he's gonna make a lot of space by pushing the hell out of this lane, pushing this tower
Yeah.
heavily, and if you don't know how to lane against a Jakiro, which I wouldn't expect you to, because who the hell plays mid Jakiro,
Yeah.
right? So,
Well, he's a natural counter to me because of
no,
his
he's not.
E.
No, he's not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I completely disagree. Anybody who says
Oh.
Jakiro is a counter to TA doesn't know what they're talking
He,
about, because Jakiro's got liquid fire. It's a 20-second cooldown spell, right? That means that every single creep wave he's going to have it once. That means that
oh.
if you, obviously he's going to trigger it on you, right? So there's
Yeah.
two things that you can do. What first thing that you can do is level one doesn't really bother you too much, because level one you have side blades anyway. So it's really when you have refraction that he burns through refraction and then you cry. But
Hmm.
first thing is that you position yourself in such a way that he needs to use it, right? He's either going to use it on you
Yeah. I
or
see. I
he's
see.
going to use it on the creeps, right? Especially in your bracket. So if you just stay back, and as soon as he uses it on the creeps, you just go forward and you start doing side blades and you start denying things and whatever. Even if he
Hmm.
uses it on you on level one, it's no damage. It's nothing. It's useless, and it's no. You don't have refraction, so you don't really care taking that little bit of damage. It's fine.
All
Level
right.
two, you don't take refraction. You actually take melt when he throws what is it called, liquid fire on you. You just melt and you dodge it. Okay.
Oh,
You just
it can be disjointable?
yeah,
Really? Yeah, I don't
you
know.
just used 50 mana per creep wave. So Jakiro does not have the right click damage to interrupt
Yeah,
your
he
farm,
doesn't. Yeah.
right? So as far as most of the time you get refraction to get better last hits. You can still keep refraction, but you keep in mind that instead of just using 100 mana, you're going to use 150 mana. So it's a lot of mana. So maybe you don't even want to get refraction, but sometimes you'll get a really nice meld. If you can meld strike into a side blade attack on Jakiro, it's going to hurt him so much. It's going to be so amazing.
Yeah.
So you can definitely play very much around Jakiro. Look at
Uh,
that. You're already denying things. He's not even he's got liquid fire. He's not even throwing it on you. He's he's so bad.
he's
So
waiting for reflection or something, I guess.
yeah, I don't know what the hell he's waiting for. Like, it's a free spell. Just use it, dude. What the hell? So, and one thing I have to complain about is like you haven't managed to get a single side blade attack on him. You're not even trying to do that. So one thing
um,
that you,
like, I was like, what the fuck? Why am I playing against the Jakiro? Like, I won't have reflections. Like, that's what my
yeah,
thought
if you're
process.
not gonna have refractions, then don't pick refraction. If you know you're not gonna have refraction, like I don't really know how many attacks how many instances of damage it does. Is it every half second, every second, every tenth of a second?
I'm not
I don't
sure as
know.
well. I didn't even know it's studentable.
But it
So
takes your refraction
honestly,
off. But it's going to take your entire refraction off. Point is, there's no point um, using refraction unless he's already used his liquid fire. As soon as he uses liquid fire, you can pop refraction, right? So he's just
hmm
used it. Why am I looking at? He's just used it, and let's see, it's every. Oh, it looks like quite every like zero point 0.2 seconds or so. But like right now, you have about 15 seconds without liquid fire. There you go. Now you pop refraction. I don't think you need
yeah,
refraction in this lane at all anyway against a Jakiro. Like there's
you're
no
right.
point. You already have a higher damage. You should be focusing on denying. In fact, in this lane, I would go a very weird sort of a skill build. I would actually put 2 points in Psy Blades and 1 point in Meld, and then obviously max refraction. This is not that crazy a
Mhm.
build, but you know, it's
It
definitely not
can
a
be okay actually.
yeah, it's not a crazy build, but it's definitely unconventional.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, like look at that. You tried to, but you didn't get it off, so it's fine. But yeah, if you dodge that, you take no damage. You've taken so much damage so far. Look at that. That's nice. That's very nice.
Yeah,
Heated
that's
tree.
usually what I do, but this was like I was sleepy when I was playing
Mm.
this, and I like
See,
even
right here.
even though I give Jakira experience, like what is gonna do? Like I didn't know like
I
he could
mean,
have like
this
pushed
is a
this tower so
this
easily.
is a big mistake because you see CM and
Yeah,
you
it
pop
could.
refraction
I
immediately. CM can take your refraction off immediately as well at almost
yeah
the same
yeah
situation, like almost for free. Now, Liquid Fire, although is not a great counter, but Jakiro as a whole is a counter because he's constantly trying to push your tower, right? So
yeah
as I said, like you definitely have to play around that fact. Like you see him casting Liquid Fire. Oh, sorry, you see him casting that Dual Breath. Just go back, move back immediately. So another thing that you can do, I like the fact that you did put 2 points in sidelines. Too early. You're going here too early. You
yeah.
know the
I know
damage.
that. Yeah.
You know the
Uh,
damage output of this guy. It's very steady, slow and steady. He doesn't have a kill potential on you, to be honest, if you're playing smart. So just eat a tango and
but
keep
they
yeah.
had Ricky. That's like I didn't have words. I bought
Yeah.
myself a word
So
after, but
so
like
so one way that Jakiro definitely wins the lane is if he has a sentry. So what I was about to say at the beginning of the game was if you buy a sentry or if you have a sentry,
I
then
will.
you shouldn't be able to lose the game to Jakiro because you can counter Jakiro by having meld, and then Jakiro can counter that by having a sentry in mid. So you have to counter that by having your own sentry in mid. You know.
Yeah, I will
So
buy a sentry, but he has a sentry right now. I saw it dying.
okay, so he's probably played against TA and he understands.
Yeah.
Put this in the backpack and bring it back.
Well,
You
the problem is that I picked it after he picked Jacker. Like,
mm. It's fine. You didn't expect it. Like you
yeah,
see, he's gonna to throw out dual breath. Just move back. You don't need to eat that damage. It's not really costing you too much, to be very honest with you. Like look at the mana. You've got full mana. You could have been casting meld this whole time, dodging
yeah,
all this shit. Not to mention like you, yeah, could have gotten some meld strikes. Side. Like, he's coming close. Like right here, you meld. You dodge that. You
yeah.
know he takes
I,
damage from these creeps. He took about 40 damage from the creeps.
that's just like I didn't know that's like disjointable.
Yeah, okay, no worries. Like, I don't think it helps you too much anyway because I've literally, I think my entire life. Okay, I've actually never had a TA game against Jakiro. I don't think I've ever had a TA game against Jakiro in a regular game. I've obviously played several times against Jakiro in 1v1 matchups, just,
Mhm.
the 1v1 games you play.
Yeah,
That's why I know this shit. But nobody's gonna pick a Jakiro in mid.
yeah, yeah.
Also, like another thing that you can do here is if you are struggling a little bit, then what like right here, you don't need to be here. It's about to be 5 minutes. You just go
Yeah,
to
I could have
this.
stack ancients.
Absolutely. What like even if this was a regular game, not against a Jakiro, you should have just gone and stacked the ancients anyway. 5 minutes, stack the
Yeah.
ancients. 7 minutes, stack the ancients. You're gonna
I
have phase
usually
boots or tread.
stack at 7 because like it's about the time like I get the threats.
Um, That's really slow tread timing. To be very honest with you, you should definitely pick up
Oh, really?
on your. Yeah, it's quite late. Sorry, did I say early?
You said late.
Yeah, it's quite late because you need to look to get treads at around
Five,
about 5:30.
6.
Yeah, 5:30. Because like,
Okay.
look at that. You've got 50 minutes in. You've got 21 last hits. That's 50% farming
Okay.
efficiency. It's really
Yeah,
slow.
it's really bad. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
like
bad.
it's
At this game, it
Jakiro.
is really bad. At this.
You can't even blame Jakiro because all he's been doing is just doing slow and steady damage to you. You've just not been farming. Like, even if you have the
Yep.
same skill build that you have and not dodge any of his stuff, just take slow and steady damage. It's not that much damage. You've done so far is gone to the shrine once, and you're fine. You haven't tried to dodge his spells. You haven't played around it. You haven't moved back when he's about to cast. You haven't done anything, and yet he hasn't
You're
done
right.
that much damage to you to that you should be afraid. And you've just not been farming. Like, look at that last day. You missed that last day. You could have popped refraction. He doesn't have liquid fire. You could
Yeah,
have popped
you're
refraction
right.
for things
Yeah.
like that. Also, keep in mind when you use refraction and when you have refraction on and you deny a creep, it doesn't actually
Yeah.
take up refraction charges. So you should
Yeah.
always look to deny user. Wow, that was instant almost. That was very, very much instant. Okay. When I said Jakiro is not a counter to TA, what I meant is mid Jakiro isn't a counter to TA the way you would think. Of course, a support Jakiro is a counter, or Jakiro as a whole, because of obviously the fact that he takes off refraction. Just as a support hero, he can take refraction off so quickly, just like Venomancer. But
Yeah.
in mid, I honestly think Venomancer is so much more of a counter to TA than in mid than Jakiro is. I also think this Jakiro is pretty bad. I think he could have done so much more to make your life
Yeah.
miserable. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
So
he already like won the lane already, in my opinion.
he only won the lane because if you look at
I'm
his
bad.
farm,
I didn't know
if
like
you
how
if
to
you
play against Jakiro.
the thing is, like, if you look at his farm, he's got 14. He's only got 11 CS. He didn't farm at all. He didn't push the lane. He has how much of the tower has he taken so far? Let's have a look. He
Not.
has not taken any. He's not
Yeah.
won the lane. He has not
Yeah.
won the lane. Okay, he's got 1,400 net worth. You've got
Oh,
almost double his net worth. Okay, so he has not won the lane, but
but like,
he's
but like,
done he's
when
done
I
nothing.
usually play TA, when I usually play TA, like I will be top of the network
Mm.
chart.
Yeah, but that's because
That's what I
but
mean.
that's because you missed so much CS for no reason.
Yeah.
Because you even attempted for that CS, just because you were missing that CS because you were having like you just like look at that, you're gonna miss that CS. Was it because
Yeah.
of Jakiro? No, you mistimed that last hit. You're actually gonna get it now because he didn't deny. But you're missing you're missing these last hits. Also, Bloodseeker is a pretty decent counter to TA as
Yeah,
well,
yeah, I
and
know, I
Slark is
know.
a really great.
Yeah.
This entire enemy lineup is a counter to TA, dude. I just
Yeah.
realized that.
They can like take off reflection
Did
really hard.
Did you pick TA first? Were you first pick?
I picked it third or second pick, something like that.
Because if you look at Bloodseeker ults you. That's it.
Yeah,
You're dead.
I'm fucked.
You're pretty much dead. Slark pounces you.
Q,
He will take
Q
your
is good.
refraction off
Yeah,
instantaneously. You're dead. Jakiro has so many ways to take off your refraction, keep you stunned, put his ult on you. Ricky
yeah.
can silence you. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
This wasn't a good
Kristen
TA
Maiden.
game.
No, it wasn't. It was one of the worst TA games imaginable.
Yeah, I was like just feeling like I because of like I won 2 games in a row. Like
Mm.
I wanted to spam.
Mm. Okay, let's analyze the game so far. Right, so far, you
I want
definitely
to
could
stake
have.
this and anti-mage fucking TPs.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Shit like this happens. But what are the things? Few of the things that you could have done in this game. First of all, you could have been a little bit more not active, but like more awake when last hitting. You could have had a lot more last hit. You could have been stacking
Yeah,
the jungle a little bit more. You said you wanted to you stack it at 7 minutes. Well, it's 9 minutes, and this is the first time you
yeah,
attempted to stack. Second thing
yeah.
is, you could
Oh,
have
I'm
had a
dead.
TP on you all the time. Like, okay, Bloodseeker comes in comes and
CM
ultis you
comes
at
up as well.
around 5 to 6 minutes or 7 minutes, you just TP out. Of course, there's a Jakiro. That means you need to preemptively know if Bloodseeker is coming or not, which means you have a Sonic
Yeah,
Trap over
ward.
here, and
Or
maybe
yeah,
no
that's
Sonic
what
Trap.
that's
You've
what.
got Sonic, yeah, either not either. You have a Sonic Trap over here, preferably a Sonic Trap like over here, or even like over here, and a Sonic Trap
Yeah.
over here. This way, it'll cover every single way Bloodseeker can come from this direction, and then a Sonic Trap here. That's it. These four Sonic Traps, and then you have
Mhm.
obviously a Sonic Trap over here and a Sonic Trap over here if you need to, or maybe just in mid. But you're not really gonna go for a kill, so it really doesn't matter. Who is this?
I usually put trap in the middle as well.
Mm. So
I
like
didn't in this game, I guess.
putting a trap in the middle isn't really helpful in this game because you're not really gonna go for the kill. But if you had a Sonic Trap over here, you would have seen not only Bloodseeker, but okay, I guess only Bloodseeker because CM just
Yeah.
changed her direction. But you would have definitely seen Bloodseeker, and you would have gone away. So you wouldn't have died here.
All right.
So you definitely didn't prepare yourself. Second thing is you definitely
Mhm.
should have been making phase boots in this game because you need to have a lot of mobility. Treads is great for manning up and fighting, but TA just doesn't man up and fight. I think Treads is, um, you make Treads when you get to 6K. Okay, don't need to make Treads right now. Just
Okay.
just stick
Okay.
with phase boots.
Well,
Phase boots, and in
t-
this game, honestly, instead of making a Desolator first, which is gonna sound really crazy in Desolator and Blink,
b-
um, you
is
should
it
have made
blink?
Force Staff first.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
like
actually can be right.
it's
Yeah.
it's like very unconventional again, but you
It makes
by
sense.
making
I see you.
yeah, by making four staff, Ricky's
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
completely don't need to worry about Ricky. You don't need to worry
CM.
about if you same as if you play Sonic traps properly, you don't need to worry about Bloodseeker. If you have four staff and Sonic traps, again, well, just four staff, you don't need to worry about CM. As far as this guy
Jacker
goes,
as well.
what are the things that he can do? If you are close to him, he can liquid fire and dual breath. You don't really need to be close to him because you're going to be farming. Because especially if you go four staff, that means you desperately need Desolator as quickly as possible. So you're farming most of the time. So the only people who you should be afraid of are Ricky and Bloodseeker, really. And this
You're
guy
right.
can throw Ice Path. If he's about to throw Ice Path, you four staff away,
Yeah,
you save
yeah,
yourself.
I can dodge it. Yeah, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
So at the end
You're
of
right.
the day, the only person you need to be worried about until like
Slark
I don't know
and
25
Bloodseeker will
minutes,
see.
just Slark, really, just Slark. As we
Okay.
said, like Bloodseeker, you when you're farming, you keep Sonic traps in such a way that Bloodseeker you will see him coming, and
Mm-hmm.
and once you get to late game or mid game, once you have Desolator, then you wait for Bloodseeker to ult, and then you go in. Now, four staff isn't unconventional on TA. It's just first staff first item is unconventional because you make a
Yeah.
Hurricane Pike
Yeah.
very very
Okay.
commonly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only thing is like it will delay the going four staff first is gonna delay your timing window quite a lot, but it does also mean that it will prevent you from dying. So that's your win scenario there,
Yeah.
right?
I see you. Yeah, I see you.
You still might not win the game, but what you have to do is try new things, try different things. Maybe this time you do these things and you're like, okay, maybe going four staff first item didn't help out too much. Maybe still going Desolator first would have helped out better. So that's it. You learned a great thing. Like, okay, if I see Ricky, still go Desolator. Doesn't matter. Maybe I can just TP out immediately, or I don't know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Depends on your MMR. Depends on your playstyle. Depends on the situation. Depends on how much warding you have. Depends on your own teammates. There's a anti mage in your team, so most of the time the enemy team is going to be focusing anti mage. So you might actually get away with going for a regular build. Ricky might not actually gank you. It looks like in this
Yeah.
game, Ricky's actually like just stick. Ricky never came to your. You never saw.
Yeah.
You have never seen Ricky so far.
Just he came once or twice.
Okay, I didn't really notice, so my bad. But Ricky didn't really kill you or be a problem at all,
Yeah, he
So
didn't. Yeah, he didn't.
So you really don't need to rush four staff in this game, to be perfectly honest. But I definitely think rushing Blink in this game before Desolator is still the better option. Like you saw Slark,
Yeah, I thought about it.
you saw Slark. What you should have done is immediately, instead of farming here, you should have gone around in this direction. Two things happen. First of all, if you're farming jungle and he decides to come into the jungle, you will die. So by going around in
Mhm.
this direction, you go close to your teammates. So that possibility is out of the question. Second thing is, if he is coming this way, he's going to engage your teammates. That means you can turn that into a 3v1 situation, and you can actually kill Slark. And even if you don't kill Slark, your ally
Is
doesn't die.
he alone there? I
Yeah,
thought
he's
like he
completely
wasn't
alone.
alone.
He's
No.
completely alone. He's absolutely alone. He just got
Or
a
I
shadow
didn't
blade and got a
saw it.
kill. He just got a 12-minute shadow blade and got a kill. Also, like when you see a 12-minute shadow blade, Ricky, you know,
It's like,
it's kind of like it doesn't really matter what you do. In that, oh, I think it's a brown bull shadow blade. Yeah, it is brown bull. It's not too bad. You guys can easily kill him, to be honest. But you need to keep it TP, and you need to have wards, and you need to be vigilant. Like you
but
see that guy, but you don't TP, you don't even have a TP.
yeah, I like usually buy TP at like 4 or 5 minutes. Like, but this
Hmm.
game I didn't buy it because like I was so behind that even fighting under tower can like I can die in under tower.
I completely agree with you, and I'm okay with you not buying a TP. That's completely fine. I'm very happy with what you just said.
Yeah.
So that's fine. That's all
Like,
fine.
but I should have bought it in case of Bloodseeker ganks me anyway.
Oh yeah, that's
I
no.
think.
What I mean is like what I'm happy with is that you don't want a TP, but I'm not happy with you not having a TP. You definitely
Yeah.
need a TP
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. I see you. I understand like why I should have
Hmm.
TP.
So like the kill score is 12-2. So I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there's a lot you could have done, but I don't think you win this game.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Understand.
that's what I mean.
I
Like
just
we can
farm.
end. Yeah, like despite the enemy team having five
And
counters to
like
you, you've only died once. You've actually
uh,
died once and got one kill. So at the end of the day, your game didn't actually go so poorly.
like we killed like Bloodseeker Ricky's like twice or three times. Like
Hmm,
we got too much money, but we didn't have zero wars. Like we had zero wars.
hmm,
I bought the
yeah.
wars, like only wars that I bought. Then what happened is that they just cut us one by one
Hmm.
and win the game easily. Like
Yeah, obviously. I mean,
we come back at like 25 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that.
this is one of the biggest reasons why you should definitely look to play Invis heroes. Slark is a fantastic one. Ricky's another one. Like look at this. Yeah, there's two Invis heroes in this team. There's no Invis heroes. You're not really an Invis hero. There's
Yeah.
no Invis heroes in this team, and this team won by a landslide. Like that's literally the definition of your bracket, dude. Honestly,
Yeah.
there's that's like that is
Look at
exactly what's
look
gonna
at Paj's
happen.
items. Look at Paj's.
Oh my god, look at it. This team didn't like. This is the team which had two Invis heroes and they bought 18 sentries. Whereas
Yep.
this
That
team, like 19
they
actually. And
like
this team,
I bought 5 sentries. You see that? Like
yeah, but it's
he
probably too late in the
he
game, to be honest.
he devoured all of them.
Yeah, I like clearly he did. He had so many sentries. But the thing is, like, by the time you bought sentries, game was game was over at the 20 minutes when we were looking at it. And this is 27 minutes, 26 minutes in is when you've died five times. Anti-mage has
Yeah.
died five times. This guy is literally feeding, and this guy's a. But
Just get Paj's items.
it's
That's
like
my
there's no
summary.
point getting sentries. This is the time to just sit in base and play Clash Royale on your phone or something like that. There's no point.
Yeah, you're right.
So yeah.